Thank you, Toastmaster Merlin, for a generous introduction. Participants of District 79, dear friends, brothers and sisters, welcome to CSR, Special Needs and Support Committee program, Reach Out. Special Needs and Support Committee is an innovative initiative from the CSR team to provide a motivational and empowerment program for the special needs community, a psychological support system for the Toastmaster fraternity. It aims to promote cognizance in developing and motivating mentally and physically challenged youngsters and incorporating them gradually into a Toastmasters program. Building up a support system to cater to the mental well-being of Toastmasters by providing counseling services, initiating mentoring activities, and capacity building of Toastmasters, conducting seminars and webinars for the same. The committee aims to fulfill the mission of Toastmasters program by providing a mutually supportive and positive learning environment, by ensuring that each and every member of the community benefits through a self-paced program. With this, let's begin our program for the day, for which we have a great personality, a special educator for the last 16 years, past president of Arabian Toastmasters Club. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Sarah Umman, our MOC for the day. Toastmaster Sarah Umman, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jijo, for that elating introduction. District leaders, division directors, area directors, special educators, my dear Toastmasters and welcome guests, a very pleasant good evening to you all. The beauty of Toastmasters lies in mingling with a fascinating kaleidoscope of people from different backgrounds, with different perspectives and on different journeys. So when our paths intersect with each other, we should consider it as an opportunity to impact the world. A little consideration, some thought for others and how they feel will make all the difference. We all know the Toastmaster mission, that is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment where each and every member benefits. And the special needs and support team under the corporate social responsibility team of District 79 will definitely go a long way in achieving this mission. The primary goal of our team is to create an awareness about the special needs community in the Toastmaster fraternity and to promote individuals into the Toastmasters program through a self-paced program based on their individual capacities, their individual capabilities, and also understanding their individual limitations. And in the long run, we would like to empower the special needs members. But our mission is just not limited to the inclusion of the special needs community into Toastmasters. Through Reach Out, we provide counseling services also to the Toastmasters in these times of distress. So now, before we start our program, we would like to say that we have in our team a group of professionals, Toastmasters, healthcare professionals, special educators, and counselors. And before we hear from our first speaker, I would like to inform our guests and Toastmasters that you can address whatever questions you have to the question and answer moderator who's present, and you can do it through private chat in our chat box. So now I'm sure all of you are waiting to hear from our first speaker. Maybe one of the advantages of these times is that we can have Zoom meetings and listen to people from India also. Our first speaker is Dr. Uma Shankar, a public health specialist who has worked in various sectors and academic and non-profit organizations, and he has immense experience in health and education sector. And now he's joining us from Bangalore, and he will be speaking to us about special needs community, a public perception. Over to you, Dr. Uma Shankar. Dr. Uma?
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Sarah. That's a good introduction. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my views on this topic, which is very close to me, special needs community. And in this specific today, we are going to talk on what is the public perception about the special needs community. So before we go further, it would have been very good if I had a live audience and had a chance to interact, but nonetheless, we could go. I just wanted all of us to ask some question to ourselves. Why is this perception so important, especially for the special needs community? Or in general, if we talk about any disability, for example. And I would want all of you all to think, why should Toastmasters know about this? Especially the perception of the community. Apart from the Toastmasters, even the general community should know about what parents think, what their fellow peers think, or even the special educators think about. So these are some of the questions I thought if we ask, we would get some answers to this. So while discussing, let's try to find some answers for this. How often have we thought about the special needs community? Maybe we would have thought about disabled people. No, they are different, they look different, or they talk differently, they walk differently, they appear differently, or something like that. Have you ever thought that, is there any similarity between the disabled or differently abled people and the normal, what we call it as the general people? Is there any difference in them, what they think and what they do or something like that? How much are we comfortable to talk to them or maybe address them or to work with them? So these are some of the things what we need to think about whenever we are talking about disabilities. So now whenever we are talking about special needs community, I would put everybody into as generally we talk about special needs community, but we have these persons with disability also included into that. So whenever we talk about persons with disability, we generally talk about someone with physical, mental, intellectual, or some kind of a sensory impairment, which they have a problem in interaction, or there is some barrier or something which is hindering them from participating with the community or the society. So this is what we generally talk about the special needs community whenever we talk about. Now, why is this important for Toastmasters or something like that? Even our country, Saudi Arabia, is a signatory to UN Convention on Rights for Persons with Disabilities. So what does this say? It says that every state or every signatory, it is our responsibility of the government, of the people, of the residents, citizens, everybody, to raise awareness throughout the society at various level, maybe at the family level or at the institutional level. We need to raise the level awareness about this persons with disability or special community. We should combat, there is a lot of stereotypes which is attached to this. There's a lot of prejudice which is attached to this. There is some harmful practices in some area which is related to the special needs community. So we need to promote this awareness. We need to promote the capabilities. We need to see how these community as persons with disability can contribute to the society. So that is where our understanding of these people is important. So what can we do? We can initiate some kind of awareness programs, campaigns. We can promote positive perceptions for greater social awareness towards these special community. We should promote and recognize their skills, their merits, their abilities, all those things. We should foster some kind of an education system for them. Why all these things are necessary? Because the attitude of a person is very important when we deal with these. So attitude plays a very important role in achieving equality, because this is actually the attitude what translates into our behavior towards these individuals or groups in the society, where we generally they have some kind of attitudes are mostly either negative or you may have a positive. So it can be a varying the stages. So to bring this positive attitudes and perception among the people, we need to work something. We need to break this barrier in achieving this where there is no equality. So whenever we talk about relationships, people's attitude, perceptions, it can be both positive and negative. And how does this perception come? The perception comes from the knowledge. So unless we have the knowledge, we may not have a positive perception towards these people. So once the knowledge and then the behavior comes, where our our action, other perceptions which are there. So whenever we talk about these perceptions, the knowledge will bring in change in the behavior will bring in change in perceptions. So whenever we talk about it, there is always some kind of a discrimination or a stigma attached to it. People generally have this wrong attitude towards, or they have the stereotypes, ideas about people with disability. For example, they have some kind of discomfort in interacting with them. Not only that, even the parents themselves have some kind of negative perception, or they feel uncomfortable to introduce their kids to someone. Even though the perception has changed over a period of time, but still we have this kind of negative perception in the community which is there. So there is a lot of social isolation with the kids. For example, the kids are isolated, even the family is isolated. Suppose there is a kid, I know a lot of cases where there are extremes. So one family doesn't even acknowledge that they have a special needs person in their community, in their family. There's the other end of the spectrum. We have a family who goes overboard to try to do something best for them. So they try to do something good for them. Okay, so like this, the perception changes. Now, whenever we have this negative stereotypes, or let's say some kind of an ignorance in the community, we don't see the real person in them. We see because it's because of their knowledge, because of lack of knowledge which is there, because they are misinformed about these community or these children, or maybe the disability itself, they are misinformed about this. So just for an example, if you bring your child, the other people may be whispering in their ears or something like that, or they may pity, or they may show some kind of a sympathy which affects the family. So like that, the perception keeps on changing for people, and the ecosystem actually matters a lot. Sometimes it is even very difficult for people to, just walk in the road, or maybe when you meet them in an elevator and all. And when people see in a wheelchair, again, there is a lot of a problem with it. Now, physical disability, mental disability, everything has some kind of these kind of a stigma or something. So people are so insensitive. We have heard people talking about these special needs community persons like they are retarded, they are weird, they are dumbo, they are handicapped. So many kinds of terminologies and adjectives have been used for these things, which really affects them. Not only that, people have thought that they should not be at home, they should be institutionalized, and sometimes one of the author has said that they all as categorized as refrigerators nowadays. So there's a lot of been research, surveys have been come out in almost all the countries. Every country have this spectrum of these problems. It could be negative to positive. So this everything is there everywhere. So what are some of the negatives? I told you some people feel they are very helpless. Some people feel they are guilty. they have done something wrong, and they sometimes they blame the community itself. So they don't have this. So this stress which is there in them, this fear what is there in them, they really sometimes they go that they have to go for a treatment. It is not always the treatment alone which is going to help. We need to look at some kind of change in the environment. We should focus on the environment, because the special needs community needs a special environment. We don't have to put them, isolate them separately and do. Within our environment, we need to bring some kind of a change in our environment, which will help people to think about it. Similarly, not only for children, the media, what they talk about, the media has a major role to play over here. Okay, so we have to be very strong enough whenever it comes to writing such articles about the special children or special needs community or something. It's very complex. It's not very simple. We need to focus on how do we bring awareness to the community. So so as I said, the perception is going to be varying. And these are all individual stories. Sometimes it gives happiness, sometimes it gives a lot of pain. I think we as educated lot who are working towards the society, to the community, should understand about why do we need to work for this community. If we understand that, I think we would be a good citizen. We would bring in some good change in life of the special needs community. Bringing a smile in their face is very important for us. For that, we need to understand what is the perception. Our perception should be more positive. Even if there is negative, we need to change to positive. With this, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. If there are any questions, I would like to take it further.
Thank you, Dr. Uma, for giving us such a wonderful talk on public perception, which is really the need of the hour. And as he mentioned, you can, audience, if you have any questions, please address it to the private chat, in the chat box, to our question, to the moderator of our question answer session. Now, coming to our presentation, Reach Out and Awareness. As I mentioned, it's a brief synopsis about the Special Needs and Support Committee and what we are planning to do. To do the honors, I'm blessed indeed to have as my colleague and a close friend, an amazing person, a thorough professional, an amazing human being. Dr. Shanti Rekha is a trained clinical psychologist and a corporate trainer. She is currently working as the counselor in the International Indian School, Al Jubail. She's been a Toastmaster for the past 5 years and was a founder president of the first Women Toastmaster Club in Al Jubail. Please help me welcome Dr. Shanti Rekha for our presentation, Reach Out, Creating an Awareness. Over to you, Dr. Shanti. Dr. Shanti?
Thank you, Saira, for the most wonderful words which I ever heard for myself. I was wondering for whom you're introducing. Great. Thanks a lot. And good evening, all fellow Toastmasters of District 79 and valued guests. So before we start, I want, please, can you enable me to share my screen? Saira, can someone enable me to share my screen? Actually, I want to do a small presentation. I have a presentation.
Yes, yes.
Toastmaster Jijo? Yes.
Yes, it will be done.
Sure, sure.
It's done, sir? Toastmaster Jijo?
Mr. White.
Yes. Okay, meanwhile, he will enable me to share the screen. Let's get started. We Toastmasters are very passionate about innovation and empowering the lives of individuals with special needs. One of the way we hope to do so is by connecting with the special need community with resources that can support, empower, and change their lives for the better. The term special needs is used to describe a person with special or with physical, emotional difficulty or differences that require more assistance or specialized services. The term is associated who have disabilities that make learning and communication difficult. It can mean anything from slight learning disabilities to profound retardation. That doesn't mean that they aren't smart, talented, or capable. They just have special challenges that a normal student would not face. Special needs can be caused by many factors like birth injury, genetics, or causes we do not understand can cause a child to be labeled as special needs. Over the past decade, there have been growing awareness of helping special need community and navigating into successful adulthood. I hope it's been resolved, sir. Jijo, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
It's done? No, it still is showing unable, disable. I'm still disabled, sir. Okay. Yes. No. The WHO Global Disability Action Plan 2014 to 2021 is a significant step towards achieving health and well-being and human rights for people with disabilities. The action plan, endorsed by WHO member states in 2014, and calls for them to remove barriers and improve access to health services and programs, strengthen and extend rehabilitation, assistive devices and support services, community-based rehabilitation, enhance collective of relevant and internationally comparable data on disability, and research on disability and related activities. Achieving the objectives of the action plan better enables people with disabilities to fulfill their aspirations in all aspects of life. Various organizations and groups throughout the world are promoting and educating employers about hiring people with disabilities. There are various companies who created a positive example of inclusively hiring them, people into their companies. For example, ITC Hotels, Dark and Dialogue, a very good restaurant in Hyderabad, India. Lemon Tree Hotels, they train people before recruiting 10 days in a program called as See, Smile and Great. Capgemini, IBM, Wipro, SAP Lab India, Tata Groups of Industries, Hody Homemade, then Chocolate Spectrum, The Target, McDonald's, Walmart, Goodwill, IKEA, Market Street, Stop and Shop, Lifetime Fitness, Power Cafe, Basket Market. The list is endless. The main reasons for hiring them are they are very extremely loyal. They are hardworking, punctual, peer and customer inspiring employees who will remain in it for a long time. Ready to take any orders, reliable, motivational, need to success, productive, continue to improve. They inspire change for the better. Last but not the least, they are capable as anyone else. So we Toastmasters also do play a vital, pivotal role in developing leaders and enhancing communication skills in this community too. Let us collectively initiate this Reach Out program and empower the special needs adolescents. I hope.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. So what exactly? They are the most wonderful people. If you see them, they are the wonderful people. They are so loving, compassionate. And then the beauty of this entire thing, they need a little, a recipe, as I was showing, a pinch of love, a heap of love, a spoon of confidence, and they will do miracles. Now let us see whom we are going to target in this special need community, this Reach Out program. Basically, we will be looking at the one, autism. Autism, if I'm talking about, is a developmental disorder characterized by difficulties with social interaction and communication, and by restricted and repetitive behavior. The learning, thinking, problem-solving abilities with these people range from gifted to severely challenged. They are the very best. They learn things quickly if being taught in a very appropriate way. Then comes us, we have also with Asperger's syndrome. These people, they have developmental disorder characterized by significant difficulties in social interaction and non-verbal communication, along with restricted and repeated patterns of behavior and interests. They have remarkable focus and persistence, aptitude for recognizing patterns, and high attention to details. Cerebral palsy, the third one, CP, which is also called as CP. It's a group of disorders that affect a person's ability to move and maintain balance and posture. CP means, cerebral means to do something with the brain, and palsy means weakness or problems with using with the muscles. With the appropriate services, support, children and adults with CP can do well, are active and a part of a community. The next one, we can cater this one, Down syndrome. Down syndrome is usually associated with physical growth delays, mild to moderate intellectually disability, and they have a lot of characteristics you can easily recognize from their features, like flattened face, almond-shaped eyes, a short neck, small ears, a thick tongue, and then sometimes small hands and feet, poor muscle tone or loose joints, short in height as children as well as adults. Then we come to dyslexia. Dyslexia is a learning disorder that involves difficulty and reading due to problems in identifying speech sounds and learning that how they relate to letters and words. That is called as coding. They are very good problem solvers. However, they are very good problem solvers, creative, observant, high level of empathy, excellent big picture thinkers, good at making connections, strong narrative reasoning, high level thinking, problem solving, and creative. All these strengths, sometimes they intervene as well with them. Now, the next one we are talking about, dyspraxia. Dyspraxia is a brain-based motor disorder. It affects fine and gross motor skills, motor planning, and coordination. It is not related to intelligence, but it sometimes affects cognitive thinking too. Causes person to person how they are performing in their daily lives. Adolescents with this problem are also, they are also very good in creative thinking. They are good in problem solving, determined, hardworking, highly motivated are their assets. Then we can also cater blindness. Blindness is ability, we all know, ability to see anything, including light. If a person is partially blind, they have limited vision. For example, they may see the blurry vision or the inability to distinguish between different types of objects. Complete blindness means you cannot see at all. However, they are superior, excellent in communication skills and listening skills. Physical challenged. It is physical condition that significantly limits to a person's motor sensory abilities. It is a state of having such a condition, discrimination based on disability. The last but not the least is hearing impaired. Hearing loss is a partial or totally inability to hear. Hearing loss may be present at birth or acquired at any time afterwards. It may occur in one or both the ears. It can affect the ability to learn spoken language and create difficulties with social interactions and work. Dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, despite the disabilities, despite those so many limitations, there are so many famous personalities who have also fallen prey to all these disabilities. However, they have managed to find ways to accept and cope with it and not let the disability stop them from being successful. Well, Toastmasters and guests, again, see, this is how they are like, these are only few have taken, if you see there are n number of people with all disabilities, however, they are successful. So we Toastmasters, we can do miracles, we can empower them, we can create a difference, get connected, create differences in their lives. Now, basically whom we are going to cater again is very much clear that we are going to do people who are 18 plus. The age is 18 plus. And the most important thing is we are going to go ahead with borderline, mild syndrome, or highly functioning people. That those are the adolescents or those are the people we are going to cater. And how to approach is one of the biggest challenge with us. We can't just go and talk and like you have to come to the Toastmasters. No, we need to break the ice. First of all, we need to make them understand even they are also they are also normal people. They can also do miracles. They can also do many things in their lives, right? They can also empower themselves with great things. And Toastmaster is certainly one of the best platform. So you need to get, first of all, break the ice and make them, as our earlier speaker told very clearly, we have to synthesize them. We have to give them information. We have to educate them and then get connected to Toastmasters. Bring to the Toastmasters, understand them what exactly they have been doing. There are so many Toastmasters in the past, who were being and did miracles. So get connect. And that is how we can always make differences, right? So that is what exactly this outreach and what exactly whom we are going to cater. That is from that's all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster Saira. And thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shanti. Toastmaster Shanti had given all of us a very clear picture on how we can identify youngsters with special needs who can benefit from the Toastmaster program. Now, once the prospective member with his or own apprehensions enter a totally unfamiliar environment, he or she definitely needs a lot of support, guidance, and encouragement from the ExCom and existing members. Of course, you may ask me that any new member needs it, but in this case, it's much more. Here are some tips for creating an inclusive club for people with all abilities. Yes, because when we speak about special needs community, we should remember them for their abilities, not for their disabilities. Ask what the members need. They have access to technology and support that can make them successful. So help them to succeed. For example, having a bell as an auditory cue for timing. This actually depends totally on the individual member's need. Be aware of resources. Frankly speaking, I've been a Toastmaster for 7 years and a special educator for the past 16 years. But it was only recently that I realized that Toastmaster member application has a checkbox that allows a potential member to note whether they are visually impaired. Also, the videos in Pathways can be viewed in closed captioning format for the hearing impaired. And also, when we print agendas during physical meeting, try to keep it very simple and just have the basic information in it. Too much information and too many jargons always may be difficult for a special needs member. Never confuse the ability to speak with the ability to communicate. My dear Toastmasters, not all special needs community members communicate with office. At times, they use sign languages, have gestures, facial expression, and body language, and all these are very important forms of communication for them. And at times, they communicate more than words. And I think as Toastmasters, we know the role of body language, isn't it? Understand the role of a support person. Generally, a special needs member will need a family friend, a support, or a relative while attending the physical meetings. But just remember, they are there to support. They are not the main member. So when you address the members, remember to address the special needs member, not the guest who's come with him. If in doubt, reach out. As professionals, even we have doubts at times. So if you have a special needs member in your club, it is perfectly fine that you can reach out to mental health professionals, special educators, and counselors who may not be Toastmasters. There is nothing wrong in seeking help and guidance for these people. Adding value to members. The first thing is recognition. All of us want recognition, isn't it? And a special needs member is no different. The next most important thing is self-esteem. Don't patronize them. Nobody enjoys it. Do we? Support them. Empathy, not sympathy. You may ask, what is the difference? Empathy is when you put yourself in that person's shoes. Then you realize that what they require is not sympathy, but empathy. Support, unconditional support, without any conditions. Fellowship. This is indeed one of the most important factors why a special needs member would join a Toastmaster club. That feeling of oneness, that feeling of togetherness. And I'm sure we as Toastmasters will be able to give that support to them. Enhance communication skills, leadership skills and opportunities, and finally, empowerment. Now, when I come to these things, that is enhancing communication skills, leadership skills and opportunities and empowerment, this is a very subjective area, depending, as I said, on a member's capabilities and limitations. But as we know, Toastmaster learning is basically through experiential learning and self-paced programs. Yes, my dear Toastmasters, self-paced programs is what we require for the specially needs members. Depending on the individual requirement, we have to plan an educational program for them. Now coming to the roles that can be assigned to these members in club meetings. As I would really suggest that for the first 3 or maybe 2 or 3 meetings, it's better, whether it's a physical meeting or a Zoom meeting, they can just join in and understand what is happening. After that, the first step in a physical meeting would be to assist the sergeant at arms. Most of the special needs members are very systematic, and so this is an ideal role for them. And the next would be timer, because they are very systematic, and to do something once it is taught to them, it is very easy for them to follow it. Vote counter. Vote counter is again very simple. Then, now that we have the Zoom meetings, the Zoom master, some of the special needs community members are very tech savvy, and they would really love to do this role. Now, coming to the speech projects, table topics, and evaluation, it will again be based on the special abilities that each member has, and it will vary from person to person. Dear Toastmasters, as Ralph Smedley said, Toastmasters is based on belief in an individual. Other organizations generally expect a person to subordinate himself to that organization, but not Toastmasters. It is the only organization which is dedicated to the individual and keeps saying that the individual is the heart of the club. The member is the heart of the club. So let's help members with different abilities to come forward and make a difference. Now, I would like to speak something about this particular gentleman, DTM Paul Arte. Some of you must have read about him. Signature keynote, hit hard 3, must have minds to break through challenges, which tells us about how he overcame physical disability to achieve his dream of playing college football. And then he became a full-time speaker. He was a high school special educator and a football coach. He's not only an accredited speaker, but a distinguished Toastmaster, the highest level of educational achievement in Toastmasters. He's a 2-time semi-finalist in the World Championship of Public Speaking. So, doesn't this go to prove that we can make a difference if we support the special needs community? By now, I'm sure you've got a general idea about how we can incorporate or integrate a special needs member into the Toastmaster fraternity. But, dear Toastmasters, other than the inclusion of the special needs community members, in today's testing times, haven't we felt the need for a ear to listen to our problems, somebody to whom we could confide in? Yes, I'm sure all of us have felt it. The leaders of District 79 realized this, and with that, the idea for a support team germinated. Our support team lead, Dr. Shanti, will now give you a brief idea about how our support team is going to function, how we are going to reach out to you. Over to you, Dr. Shanti. Over to you, Shanti.
Thank you. Once again, thank you, the Saira, Toastmaster Saira. And again, good evening to all of you. Now, District 79, I do agree with Saira, though we are come up with this innovative the the need of the hour. One is reaching the special need community, and this one counseling. Because if you see, this is the need of the hour. This is the hour where so many people are undergoing a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, depression, insomnia, and many things. And at times we feel that we need someone whom we can confide and talk to the person and get some, some relief, get some tips, get some suggestions and advices. That is the reason we have come with the counseling, and very soon we are going to come up, understand what exactly this counseling all about. As the world is becoming busier and busier, the need of the counseling is really increasing. Counseling has been important seemingly since the dawn of society, from parents to grandparents, advising other family members to community leaders, providing guidance to residents. Counseling seems to be always been a natural part of the human experience. Counseling provided by trained professionals can make a profound impact on the lives of the individuals, families, and communities. This service helps people navigate difficult life situations and manage mental health issues, such as like anxiety, depression. So ultimately, counseling empowers people to lead healthy life and fulfilling their lives. So this is, as I've told you, this is a need of our, and who can go ahead, or who can be, attend. One is distress, stress, depression, and there are so many reasons. Parents of, even sometimes parents of special needs adolescents. Now, how we are going to do? A counselor can help the person to get back to their feet and feel empowered and stronger than ever. A support system. This is the most important thing, what exactly the support system all about. We are going to reach the clubs. Then whosoever is having any stress, they can reach to the people. We are going to build a system wherein most of us will be counselors, and then eventually they can take the role of counseling and reach out the people who are really going it. Sometimes, many times it happens, I have an issue, but I don't know to whom I look at it. So this system or this entire team is going to help you out, help all the members who are in stress, who are in depression, to regain or to gain the strength and come back to their normal lives. So this is what. So think positive, talk positive, feel positive. We are here to listen. District 79 CSR team is all for you. Over to you, Saira.
Thank you, Dr. Shanti. I hope this presentation has given all of you a basic awareness about our team's mission. The next program in our agenda is a case study by Toastmaster Ambali Rose. Toastmaster Ambali has done her master's in social work and is a professional psychiatric social worker and a psychotherapist having vast experience in counseling. She provides online counseling to both inland and outland clients. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Ambali Rose to present her case study. Toastmaster Ambali.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'm not able to open my video. Anyhow, I'm starting. Okay. Very good evening to everyone. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction and the opportunity to speak on this dais. For me, it's been 11 years in Riyadh. During this period, I have worked with different international schools. Can you listen to me?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay.
You can open the video now.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. So during this period, I have worked with different international schools and associations. And I always felt that even as an educated individual, we are not so aware of mental health issues or about the special children. Especially as teachers and parents, there is only one kind of explanation for a child if he's not excelled in his studies or if he's a problem child. They never try to identify what the real problem is. I would like to tell you an example that I had a student. She was in grade 2 when I met her. She was a problem child in the class and she didn't have any friends. She was not answering to any teachers. And gradually I noticed that she has a mixed language. When I spoke to her parents, I understood that her father used to speak in Urdu and her mom used to speak in Telugu at home. And in school, as you know, teachers used to speak in English and all her friends used to speak in Hindi and in some other South Indian languages. Above all, when I communicated with the parents, they told she was diagnosed with alalia, which means a speech delay, and never treated because they found her quite normal. As we know, the children diagnosed with speech delay are more likely to present with behavioral and social emotional problems in childhood. They have a difficult time in communicating and bonding with peers, which would have a negative effect on their psychosocial health in later in life. It was a little tough for me to make them understand that the progress is not always measured on paper. Fortunately, they accepted what I said. I suggested them that try to speak in a single language at home and to take her for speech therapy. And I request them to shift her to another school where she will get specialized teachers or more training than the normal school. And anyhow, like I said, they shifted to India in the very next year. Gradually, I lost contact with them. Later in last year, I got a message from that girl saying that she has successfully completed her 12th standard with a very good mark. She had a lot of friends too. I was so happy for her. In this case, we can see that she didn't have any opportunity to speak up and not a comfortable scenario to listen and nobody to listen to her. I think if she had an opportunity to join Toastmasters, surely she would have benefited from it. A chance to speak, a chance to listen. What I like from Toastmasters is it has a proven education program that comprises communication and leadership. A Toastmaster club meetings offers a very supportive environment and where people with diverse skills and backgrounds come together to practice their skills. In addition to delivering speeches, they also have an opportunity to develop their own listening and interpersonal skills. I will definitely say Toastmasters is the golden opportunity for the growth of every individual. So I urge all, including children, to be a part of Toastmasters and feel the change in you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ambli. Actually, Dr. Shanti, Toastmaster Ambli, we have another speaker coming up, Madam Nazia, and myself. Since we are from this profession, it's really what Madam Toastmaster Ambli said now is so true, that public speaking opportunity will really be a big boon for the special needs community, because we are in the job and we know how important it is for the special needs community. Now, our next speaker is Mrs. Nazia Safar Sheikh. She works in the special care section of Seva School in Riyadh for the past 25 years. She has done her post-graduation in child development and has attended many seminars and symposiums. Today, she will be speaking from her experience as a special educator and also how she found that public speaking and communication skills play an important role in the life of a special needs individual. Over to you, Madam Nazia.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. I am delighted to be a part of Toastmasters. Thank you, Toastmaster Jijo. Thank you, Toastmaster Saira and Toastmaster Shanti. Thank you for giving me such an amazing opportunity. Public speaking is used as an educational tool which may involve education, which may involve giving a well-practiced talk about an assigned topic or an impromptu topic. Both are valuable training tools. Youngsters with special needs and social disabilities such as Asperger's syndrome, autism, learning disability, and ADHD can use public speaking as a tool to practice organizing and experiencing thoughts around a topic of personal interest. It should develop confidence and motivation. Public speaking is important for special need youngsters because it provides a valuable creative recreational outlet which reduces anxiety, stress, and keep the body and mind healthy. The basic element of public speaking is communication, which is the backbone of our society. It allows to form connections, influence decisions, and motivate changes. Many famous personalities who suffered with ADHD, autism lead a successful life, like Albert Einstein, Justin Timberlake, Paris Hilton, and many more. Temple Grandin, a professor of animal science and author of several books, which includes Thinking in Pictures and The Way I See It, did not begin speaking until she was 4 years of age. She was an autistic child, and later she became a prominent speaker on both autism and animal behavior. It is the best opportunity for youngsters to present themselves to the world. In my 25 years of teaching experience, special children, I have trained many youngsters in school with ADHD, autism, and learning disabilities for speeches, dramas, and poetry recitation, and even provided opportunity to include them with the normal children in the mainstream under inclusion education program so that they can get exposure for socialization and communication, both. But when they turn 18, and leave us and the school, I realized that they should get a proper platform to lead a successful life by expressing and enhancing their abilities. Now the world has become small, and facilities like internet, social media, we can keep track of our students and guide them for such platforms which will help to build up their social and communication skills like Toastmasters. And we can guide and help the parents to promote communicational and social skills in youngsters. A piece of advice to the parents: make your child practice well. Practice should be given in smaller groups. This will give them positive feedback and motivation. So never underestimate yourself or your abilities. It is our differences that make us unique and beautiful. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Madam Nazia. I totally agree with you that public speaking really benefits our special needs community members. All of you have reinforced that again and again. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to present two very special individuals. Toastmaster Mumtaz Rizvi, well known as Madam Toastmaster Seema, and her amazing daughter, Rubab. First, let me speak about Madam Toastmaster Mumtaz. She is our District 79 YLP Manager for the current year and the VP Public Relations of Eloquence Speakers Toastmaster Club. She's a gold medalist in MBA from Aligarh University and is a business studies teacher in Orbit School. She is a super mom to two amazing children. I think most of us in Eastern Province know her very well and her two amazing kids. I would now not like to say anything more. I think you should hear it from her. So over to you, Toastmaster Mumtaz. Madam Mumtaz. Yes, Madam Toastmaster Mumtaz. I think, is she muted? And before Madam Toastmaster Mumtaz, a request to all our audience from the PR team to please open your cameras as they would like to take some photos. So for whoever it is possible, please request you to open the cameras so that the PR team can take the photos. Thank you so much. And over to you, Madam Toastmaster Mumtaz.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saira. Am I clear enough?
Yes, you're clear. You're audible.
Thank you. Respected dignitaries, fellow Toastmasters, dear parents and valued guests, a very good evening to all of you. I'm so privileged and honored to be a part of this esteemed initiative done by District 79, which is corporate social responsibility, reaching out to the people. Helen Keller once said, "Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much." By together, I mean, if we join hands together, we can reach out to so many people. And together also means inclusion and diversity in Toastmasters. Most of you sitting here are parents. Imagine when your child is born, your joys have no bounds. You feel so elated and you just hug your child. You start building your dreams and hopes. And you plan for a brighter future. On the contrary, think about those parents who are also blessed with a child. But soon, the happiness is sometimes short-lived, as it is diagnosed that the child is special or has some kind of predicament. All the hopes shatter. People do not know how to tackle the problem. Sometimes they go into denial mode. But only answer is we have to embrace the child and we have to look up for the ways how to make them independent and self-sufficient. The only path is to educate them and to find out ways how they can live an independent life. Unfortunately, most of the education institutions, they want all the people who are able-bodied. So it becomes very difficult for a special needs child to get admission. Believe me, special children are like pearls. We parents have to dive deep and get the innate qualities in the child. So I just want to ask you a question. Is there a separate world where the differently abled people live? I'm sure you all are saying no, because everyone has to be integrated in the society, and the training of inclusion should start from a very young age. All of you sitting here, you can recall when your first child was born. You were on cloud 9. When I was blessed with a son, I also felt the same. I was so happy to have him in my lap and I hugged him. But when I looked at him and I looked at his eyes, they were little different from others. I wondered how it was different. I just called the doctor and he gave me the news that he is suffering from an incurable eye disease and soon his world would plunge into darkness. I had to accept this harsh reality and I called my father and asked him, "Papa, why God has tested me with this?" And he said, "God tests only those who he thinks are capable of handling challenges of life and move ahead with positivity." His words are still with me, and oftentimes I talk to him to give me that comfort. I knew that I have to embrace the way he is. And when my husband and I embraced him with all the heart, I started to smile and I enjoyed every activity he did. When he went to school, it was very difficult at 2 decades back. There was no internet, there was no social media, and there was no inclusive education. I was very naive to know how to educate him, but I was very, very persistent and determined. No matter what, he will be going to a regular school, so he would be able to gain that confidence and not feel that he's different in any way. Our journey started, and I ensured my principal that definitely he will be able to keep pace with the school. So he started writing with a pencil because he could see this much. Gradually, he moved to write in pen. Then he moved to a felt pen, finally to a marker. And after a few years, his world had plunged into darkness. But that did not deter him from achieving his aim in life. He used different tools like a brailler, formic sheet, and now he uses this for signing any document. Then he had everything specialized for doing maths. And the most important thing, as he was doing science, I would draw the diagrams on this sheet and he would feel what was drawn for mathematics or bio or chemistry. We took him out to amusement parks. He would cycle, he would go for skating, and he would use this. This is not a rattle. This is a ball which is very, very hard. And he played cricket in school, and every child enjoyed playing with him when he would make a sixer or play cricket. Whenever we took him out, people unknowingly would look at him and sometimes pity him or made fun of him. I did not know how to react at that time, but I had one thing in my mind, that if I make him speak in public, definitely he would gain confidence. But because he was so conscious, he was not very willing to go on stage. But I kept on pursuing the matter. And finally, when he was in standard 10, he made his first public appearance. I made him practice and rehearse a lot at home. And I said, if you speak from your heart, you don't need to memorize anything. And he did the same. Believe me, I still remember that fortunate day. Everyone in the audience was filled with awe, and they got very emotional and they had teary eyes. That day proved that when special needs people, they face the public, they gain confidence, and they break all barriers to erode that preconceived notions which exists in the mind of people. He not only did very well in academics, but now he is even a motivational speaker who gives hope to so many people. My daughter too has some visual impairment. She saw from a very young age my struggles with my son, and she automatically gained a lot of confidence, and she took part in elocutions, debates in school. And when both of them joined Toastmasters, definitely, they learned a lot of public speaking skills, and now they take it to the advantage of other people, that they are a source of inspiration. And I keep telling them, this is what is your ultimate aim, that you have to keep inspiring other people. As quoted by my children's angel doctor in India, as they call him, an angel, because he is the one who gives a lot of hope to my daughter every time we visit India, Hyderabad. His name is Anil Kumar Mandal. He taught me a very valuable lesson, which I will just share you at the end of my speech. We should take our children as a whole and not look at them in small parts or the limitations what they have. Only then we are able to move ahead with positivity, and we will see as we are walking on the untrodden path, God will send a lot of people to help. So I hope this initiative of District 79 in the form of CSR definitely will pave way for a lot of people. And when we join hands together, we will be able to make a lot of difference in people's lives. And together, we will change the perception of people in general, and we will be very willing to have an inclusive society. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Seema. Now, we have another speaker, Toastmaster Rubab Fatima Riswi, the current VP Education of Eloquent Toastmasters Club and past president of Phoenix, MASA and PMU Women's Toastmaster Club, as well as past Area 9 Administration Manager. It is very difficult to list out her achievements. It is endless. She was a District 79 Evaluation Speech Champion in 2016, received Triple Crown Award twice, and also the Outstanding Toastmaster Award. She completed a BSc with outstanding marks and was the CMA top scorer in Saudi Arabia in 2017 and the first visually impaired CMA candidate. She has been invited as a guest speaker in many functions, not just Toastmasters, but other functions too. Please help me welcome Madam Toastmaster Rubab Fatima Riswi. Over to you, Rubab.
Thank you so much, dear Toastmaster Saira, and I hope that my voice is loud and clear.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so
Yes.
much for that extremely elating and heartwarming introduction. And I would like to thank the District 79 CSR committee for giving me this wonderful opportunity to come and share my thoughts with our Toastmasters, dear parents, and eminent guests. Now, amongst us, we have a lot of eminent people like special educators, doctors, psychologists, counselors, and parents, and of course, I'm none of these, but I can just validate a lot of these points based on my own personal experience. Now, as you must have heard that I was too born with an eye condition, but my condition was never that serious. It was only a few years back, maybe 5 years back, that my visual limitation became greater as my eyesight deteriorated to a considerable extent. However, at this point, I would like to mention three very, very important points, groundbreaking points, which have been the reason for me to be able to speak with confidence and to be able to lead a very independent and fulfilling life. And this is again from my experience that I have seen as a child and as a member of society. And the first point is support. Now, my parents, my brother, and my maternal family have been the biggest support in my life. And as my mother just mentioned earlier, she is the one who pioneered the idea of diversity and inclusion in our family and in the school that we studied. And had it not been for studying in a regular school with sighted people and being in the mainstream environment from the beginning, I would have never had the confidence that I do now, because of being in the mainstream environment. Despite my visual limitation, which I never considered to be a limitation in the first place, I never ever felt that I was different in any way. Now, since nursery up until today, because I was in a regular setting, of course, at times, people need to, some people are ignorant. So, of course, as one of the speakers mentioned, that empathy is the most important thing. And also, just as how important empathy is, it is also very important to have knowledge. So we need to inculcate in children from a very young age how they should talk to and behave with people who have any different sort of an ability. For example, it could be from the proper way of shaking hands with somebody, to giving audio clues, to holding a hand of somebody who has difficulty in seeing. So from the beginning, I had a very, very strong support system, which played a very important part in my life. And similarly, the Toastmasters community is so supportive beyond words that if any person who has a psychological, mental, or physical issue comes to Toastmasters, it is a family of the best people. And definitely any person who joins the Toastmasters community through the CSR program will feel included and will greatly benefit from that. And the second thing that I feel that the most important part of my life is education. And because I was in a mainstream school, and I was fortunate enough actually to be in a mainstream school because of the vision and the persistence of my mother, I always felt at par with other children. And I used a few different low vision aids, like for example, enlarged papers or a screen reader, or sometimes even a sighted reader. I was able to always excel academically, and my brother was the one who always inspired me. And thirdly, and one of the most important points, is communication. Now, I think Toastmaster Saira said, one of the speakers said that we should not confuse the ability to speak with the ability to communicate. And communication is one of the most important parts of a person's existence. And since I was at school, I was extremely active in elocution, speeches, debates, and whatnot. And I just love to go on this stage and speak, or even take part in stage plays, drama, everything. But when I came to Toastmasters and my father introduced me to Toastmasters, at times, I mean, obviously everybody was so supportive and so friendly, and that was kind of the first time, because of Toastmasters, that I was exposed to a wider community of individuals, and I spoke to a wider public, because at school, university, it was mostly students. Now, obviously, being a teenage girl at that time, I would feel really conscious, when I had to use sighted assistance and I had to hold somebody's hand and go on the stage or get down the stage, or when I had to always request the timer for verbal signals. And my mother always said to me that people respect you because of your confidence and because of the message that you have to share with the public. And she always lifted my self-esteem and always told me that people are here to listen to you and not to judge you for a very, very small limitation, so-called limitation that you could have. And because of that, now it's for 7 years that I have been in Toastmasters, and because of the ability to communicate and to be able to take up leadership roles, that I feel so empowered. And I would now, like to be a part of this Reach Out program and would like to connect with people who have any sort of a limitation, because Toastmasters is really an ideal platform for every person of any age to come, step up on the stage and own the stage for those few minutes, because everybody in the world has a unique story to share, a unique struggle, and the world wants to listen to those stories and to feel inspired. And dear parents and guests, this is the best opportunity to come up and shine. And all Toastmasters are here to support selflessly. I would just like to conclude by saying that this world is a place where we should all come and celebrate our differences, embrace diversity and inclusion, and being able to speak up and communicate is a gift which the Toastmasters International Program will empower the children and any sort of person, whether or not they have an implicit or explicit limitation. So with this, I again thank you for the opportunity, and I'll just like to conclude by the famous lines of Helen Keller, that keep your face towards the sun and your shadow will fall behind you. So with this optimistic note, I thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Saira.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rubab. Indeed, it was an amazing journey, and I'm sure all of the people who are here, those who have heard it, the Toastmasters and guests, would have felt truly inspired. Hats off to you and to your amazing family. Thank you. Now, I would like to welcome our question and answer moderator, Dr. Sundar Ramalingam. He will be handling the question answer section. He has been a Toastmaster for the past 3 years, and he has won many awards at the area and division level. He is the current VP Education of Taj Toastmasters Club. This soft-spoken and very kind-hearted doctor is working as an associate consultant in oral surgery at King Saud University Medical City, Riyadh. Please help me welcome Dr. Sundar to handle the question answer section.
Thank you very
Over
much.
To you, Dr. Sundar. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster Saira, for that wonderful introduction. Distinguished Toastmasters, friends, guests, and everyone present here, good evening. It's indeed a happy moment that we have all gathered together for a worthy cause, a noble cause of helping those in need, the people with special needs. So we had an array of speakers delivering out their views and opinions, and we also had a few case studies and also one wonderful testimony from Madam Seema Rizvi and Madam Toastmaster Rubab. So we have a few questions directed towards the panelists who spoke to us today. So let us move on. Let me share my screen to show the question. Okay. So in the words of Francis Bacon, a prudent question is one half of wisdom. So let us move on without further ado to the question. There was one question from a special educator from India, Ms. Blessy. She was a guest with us today, and she wishes to ask Dr. Uma Shankar, is there any relationship between autism and vaccination? Many parents in my school are supporting this. What is the professional opinion from doctor community? And this could actually change the perception of people towards vaccination, and this could actually be a big contributor for developing a lot of children with special needs if it is not dealt with properly. Is there anything that Dr. Uma Shankar wishes to communicate on this regard? Dr. Uma Shankar, are you there? Dr. Uma Shankar? Toastmaster Jijo, any idea if he is around or he has left?
Sure. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
only now.
Yeah. Sorry, I was not able to unmute myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, there is. So this question is, I would say, a very difficult question, because there's always a different school of thought. There's one school of thought who has already, who have been always telling that vaccination has been the cause for many of the autistic children or any kind of these kind of disabilities. And there's the other school which says that vaccination has no role to play in this. Everybody says there is some evidence, but the scientific world do not agree that vaccination is one of the cause. Yes, it could be if you have any problem with the vaccination which has not been a proper one or a good one, and then it would be. Vaccination per se as such may not bring into these kind of issues. But definitely there are other schools who say that vaccination is a problem, but we need good evidence to prove that this is the cause for it. So right now, what I personally would suggest to whatever important vaccinations are there, just give them, don't load the kids with chemicals. Only what is necessary you can do. Others, I think, are good diet, health, and environment will help to prevent most of the diseases.
Thank you, Dr. Uma Shankar. There is another question as well directed towards you. Let me share my screen now. Yes, so this is the question. Could you please elaborate on how conditions like ADHD and autism spectrum disorders could be overcome in a Toastmasters club setup? I believe by now you would have had a fair idea like how the Toastmasters club functions. Like basically we give opportunities to people perform on the leadership and communication roles. So how could these conditions be overcome or the challenges of these people with these special needs overcome in a Toastmasters club setup? Dr. Uma Shankar.
Yes, there could be something. Definitely Toastmasters Club could help, but it depends on at what stage and what level the person is having the autism or the ADHD or something like that. It depends on that, at what spectrum they are. Based on that, you can help them improve. For example, if there is somebody who's got an attention deficit, you can give some kind of a program or maybe involve them in some kind of an activity and then bring them to these kind of platforms. Toastmasters can definitely help, especially when it comes to speaking, public speaking. Give some small work and then they will be able to do it. Just maybe just starting with a hello, hi, and kind of thing. They get excited and they will do it. So now this needs a lot of understanding of the person. And then post that, we would be able to suggest some kind of activity for them. And it is definitely possible. I think Dr. Shanti or Dr. Saira, Toastmaster Saira, could add more value to this particular question.
Yeah, Dr. Uma, very true. Because as you said, it is only very loud noise which irritates, in my experience, it irritates the autistic child. A Toastmaster meeting is generally very disciplined and it will not affect a child. And he, as you said, initially, they should come for 2-3 meetings and just observe, relax, and like you said, maybe just introduce themselves, say hi, give an opportunity so that they learn to, accept the crowd around them. And maybe after that, some of them are very smart. Like I said, they can help out as the vote counter. They can assist the vote counter because that is just counting votes. As you said, give them simple assignments and generally make them get the feel of the place. And that I have noticed it helps and they gradually adopt to a situation. I'll give a small example here. Once when I had to take my child, one of my students for assembly, I used to make her hold the mic for 2-3 days and then took her onto the stage. So everything is a very gradual process for them. You have to get them trained to it, then they are comfortable. So I think whoever asked the question would have got an idea now.
Yeah, and this is important to remember that every kid is different. We cannot judge or tell that kid, we made them do that activity, so we should be able to do the same thing. No, each kid is individual, is different. We need to identify that and then get it done. So I think the counselors or the people who are working in this fraternity needs a lot of work to be done before we even bring them onto the platform.
Definitely, yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster Saira and Dr. Uma Shankar, for this wonderful explanation. What could be done for these people with challenges as Toastmasters in a Toastmasters setup? In fact, that was the next question which was actually put forth from one of the audience members. And thanks for answering it in advance. Well, there is actually a specific question which I would like to direct it towards Madam Toastmaster Dr. Shanti Rekha and Madam Toastmaster Saira, because they were the ones who are giving out the information about reaching out and creating the awareness among the Toastmasters fraternity. So this was a particular question. So let me share my screen before that. Yeah, so this was the earlier question, which I believe has been answered, because it was a similar question like how in a Toastmasters club setup or as an organization, how we could consider accommodating members with special needs. So the next question is more particular, like how as Toastmasters we could contribute. So this was a great question actually put forth by Toastmaster Zara Ahmed, and her question goes, how can we help out in this noble endeavor started by District 79? Well, this actually is a question in the mind of almost all Toastmasters who are attending here as members, as Club ExCom officers, or as the district area or division officers. How could we contribute to this effort? Toastmaster Saira and Toastmaster Dr. Shanti Rekha, please. Over to you.
I would like, Shanti, can I start and then can you continue with that?
You start.
Yeah, actually, this is something that we would really appreciate. That is our purpose also, that we would like that ExCom members ask us this question. Sometimes you may know of people around you who need, actually what happens is generally we have a tendency to bring the excellent speakers or people who have amazing communication skills to Toastmasters Club. But I think it is high time we start bringing people who you feel when you see them may benefit from it and improve themselves. So first step would be to bring them into the club. So if you know any of you, the ExCom members or members in any club, know anyone, or you can, even if the special educators in that region may get in touch with you and inform you about prospective members, the first step would be inviting them for a meeting. As of now, we have Zoom meetings, so you can ask them to join the Zoom meetings also. So bring them in and make them understand. And you know, once they are in, maybe you can talk to the parents, make them understand what it is. And in all these places, I think Riyadh, Khobar and Jubail, you have our support. We have our members in all these places and they will be there to give you any support that you want, whether it's in a Zoom meeting or when you have physical meetings. So once they come in, you will realize, I think I have generally given in our presentation, we have given an idea about how you can involve them in the meetings. So this is what we would like from you, that if you have people around you in your community like that, you could bring them in and you could take our help for it. And we will also be asking the special schools in that area, because generally what we face a problem is that after 18, there is not much we can do for them. And that is the stage where we feel, you know, Toastmasters can play, maybe not in all cases, but at least for those whom it is useful. I think Shanti would like to continue from here.
Yeah. Thank you, Saira. And this is a really very apt and good question, because basically this is an entire setup what we are planning for, right? So first of all, when they let them, as Saira told very clearly, let them come and see what exactly, because there might be coming a lot of apprehensives and a lot of apprehensions and every stuff. Let them come, enjoy what is happening over there, let them mingle around during the breaks and other stuff, and then they will understand what is all Toastmaster about. And then initially start with a very, very small roles, as already we have mentioned in the our presentations, a very small role wherein just even sometimes even coming up the stage or setting up the stage, or you can help, okay, can you please help me if it is a normal meeting, then you can help me to pull out the tables or arrange the chairs, because they love to do all this stuff. So what happens slowly and eventually they will be into that and they will start taking up the roles and they grew up. So that's what exactly is all the setup. And then as Saira told very nicely, clearly, like we have a team and the support team is extended to Khobar, Riyadh, Dammam. So the entire team is going to help you out. Except sometimes you might face difficulties, how to convince them or how to make them. So it's not like this, that these team will come or they will make them understand. Just even you can't force them also, right? Like I find a neighbor who is having a problem, I just can't barge into their home and say, yeah, dears, you can come down to no. You need to first of all get connect. As I've told you in my thing, you need to break the ice, get connect, bring them, and then things will automatically fall in place.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Toastmaster Saira and Toastmaster Dr. Shanti Rekha. I have just one last question before we end the Q&A session. So let me share my screen before that. So this question, I would like to direct it towards the two Toastmasters who spoke to us, and also Toastmasters Ambly Rose and Madam Nazia, who also gave us case studies. So this is actually of particular interest. Members with which particular category of disorders could benefit through this program? Of course, we have started a noble initiative. We have to identify which group of people. So which particular category of people with special needs would really benefit out of this? Over to you, Madam.
This is the question for?
Ambly and
Madam Nazia, because they had given us case studies. Yeah. And you could also elaborate, ma'am, because you had given a list of
exactly. That is a list. Actually, there are so many, but out of that list, it has been researched that these people with support and care, and empowerment, they can really do miracles. So that was the list which I have given.
Okay. Toastmaster Ambly and Madam Nazia, if you have any particular suggestions, like is any particular group of people that would benefit out of this? Especially those with the cognitive disorders such as autism or ADHD or alalia, as something which you mentioned. I know we have people with physical impairment and physical challenge. Of course, it is easy to bring them in the mainstream. Yes. People with cognitive difficulties, any other particular suggestions? Even Dr. Umashankar, if you have anything, it would benefit us. So. Toastmaster Ambly, are you there? I think I have left. Dr. Umashankar, would you like to answer this question?
Sarah, you could proceed with that.
I think Dr. Umashankar is online. Sir, you can unmute yourself and speak, please.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah. See, I personally, with my experience, I would not go with any one specific or a few categories. Any spectrum can help, but again, it depends on at what stage they are, at what level they are. We have to assess them and then do. We cannot say only these three categories can do and others we cannot do. We have to assess each and everybody. We have to give equal opportunity to each and every person or any kind of disability they have got. Assess them and then see at what level they can do. Everybody has some kind of ability. According to the ability, it can be worked on.
Thank you, Dr. Umashankar. Toastmaster Saira, would you like to add up anything? Or?
No, I think that's fine. What he said is exacting, exactly. It depends on each individual person. We cannot say autism because each autistic child varies. Over my 16 years of experience, that is what I've learned, that you cannot apply the same thing to just say that, 3 students are autistic, each one should be dealt in a different manner. So as he said, the age matters. If they come to you at a very younger age, there are you can even perform miracles with them. So that also matters. So I think that sums it up.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Saira. In this regard, I would like to recall the message, a very fine message delivered by Madam Toastmaster Seema during her speech, that don't look at the child as individual pieces or portions, look them at as a whole. So that way, every individual is unique when we look them as a whole, and they require particular needs and requirements based on which we could tailor them and accommodate us in the mainstream as we are trying to do it in the Toastmasters. Thank you very much for all the panelists who had given wonderful presentations and have also given their clarified thoughts for the questions raised by the audiences. With this, I end the question and answer session, and over to you, Madam Toastmaster Saira.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dr. Sundar, for that amazing question answer session. It was indeed a very crisp one, and I'm sure our audience found it very informative. Now, I would like to welcome the man behind this whole CSR team, this new concept of District 79. DTM Madhusha Nanyakara, our district director, a charismatic leader who has the capacity in the real sense to think out of the box. He has set new standards, raised the bar, and is the force behind all of us. Please help me welcome our District 79 Director, Toastmaster DTM Madhusha, for the felicitations. DTM Madhusha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Saira. I'm so sorry that I'm unable to start my camera due to certain personal reasons. I'm joining you from the hospital, but still the cause is so important. Well, it was Sir Martin Luther King Jr. who said that a man who decides to walk in the light of caring for others is definitely a man to lead the world. But of course, among us, there are also those people who decide to live in the darkness of their own selfishness. Dear district leaders, including Distinguished Toastmaster Rami Jawad, Distinguished Toastmaster Ses, DTM Palani, and all the other roundtable members, our beloved CSR manager, Toastmaster Jijo Koshi, and all the leaders of this remarkable altruistic committee called the Special Needs and Support. This is definitely a proud moment for all of us, as the history is now being made in District 79. What you have performed today, what you have delivered today, is not just a simple online event. It is actually the groundbreaking first step of a new future of District 79. A district which takes the mission of Toastmasters to certain individuals who might have faced certain challenges that none of us have ever imagined in our whole life. So, to all those who have attended today, all what I have to say is that due to certain recent incidents, we had to limit the audience of this event. Due to certain challenges, we had to take certain additional security measures to make sure that all the attendees were well verified, authenticated before inviting them into the main room. And that is why you just saw up to 45 attendees in this event. And that is not because that the concept is not popular, it is only because of the additional security measures that we have taken. But this event's recording will be published very soon. And do you know why? I myself never expected such professionalism at our first event. But I was a fool. When I know who are on this team, who are on this committee, I must have expected the best in the whole world to run this event. And the quality is definitely speaking more than words. So thank you so much, dear committee members, including Toastmaster Saira Oman, Dr. Umar Shankar, Toastmaster Dr. Shanti Rao, Toastmaster Ambili Rose, Mrs. Nazia, Toastmaster Mumtaz Seema Rizvi, Toastmaster Rubab Fatima Rizvi, Toastmaster Dr. Sundar Ramalingam, Toastmaster Marilyn Lenny, Toastmaster Minuri Vijayasekar, Toastmaster Sijo Mon Jose, Toastmaster Gautam Tandra. You have basically set a new benchmark for all the other districts in the world. I proudly shared with them what we are doing here in District 79 during our training. And even when we are conducting the international director and international officer candidate interviews these days, this is something that we always bring up. Why can't Toastmasters run these extra miles to support the communities which are less recognized in the world? So this is something that we definitely doing as a special project compared to the other districts in the world. But I must also recognize the good work of our technology team. DTM Farhin Said is leading the tech team, and they have had 3 meetings just to plan for this meeting. And with her, there is a series of tech experts who have ensured the security of this event, and that all the presenters, all the attendees are well supported. So thank you, Dr. Juni Silva, Toastmaster Gerard George, Toastmaster Ali Hassan Suevi, and Toastmaster Brian Joshua for your altruistic service. The certificates will definitely be presented to you soon after this speech by our very own CSR manager, Toastmaster Jijo Koshi. But before I conclude, I must say that this is just the first step of a series of steps that is going to change the history of District 79. So as one of our members asked, what can we do extra to support the course of this District 79, this course which is supporting our special needs communities and other special communities? Yes, the only thing that we can do at the moment is to promote this great idea. And then the next step would be to start implementing all those ideas that our committee has just shared with all of us. Once again, we are going to have a similar event with a bigger audience, with a greater impact when we reach out to our clubs. So Toastmaster Jijo will be planning for that event very soon, and we are all behind you to ensure that you reap the benefits as Toastmasters for being such altruistic individuals, because that benefit comes from heart. That benefit will always fill your heart with that joy that you cannot have from anywhere else. God bless you all. I am so proud as the district director to attend this event today. Back to you, ma'am.
Thank you, DTM Madhusha, for those inspiring words, and we hope we can live up to your expectations. Dear Toastmasters and guests, I hope you've enjoyed this session, and I thoroughly enjoyed being your Master of Ceremony today. Before I sign off and hand over to our CSR manager, I would just like to remind you of one sentence by Robert Hensel. I don't have a disability. I have a different ability. Yes, dear Toastmasters and guests, this is what we would like to reinforce. And this is what we are trying to implement through the Special Needs and Support Team. Over to you, our dear dynamic CSR manager and the person who's been motivating us to do better. Toastmaster Jijo Koshi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sarah Woman, for a wonderful session. Truly, I personally enjoyed, and sure all of us enjoyed the show. Thank you for the great speeches. No duty is more urgent than returning thanks. District Director, DTM Madisha, PQD, DTM Rami Jawad, CGD, DTM SES, roundtable members, division directors, area directors, members, and my distinguished guest. Again, we have come to the vote of thanks session. I cannot stop myself by thanking the people who are behind this event, starting from our district director who brought CSR into limelight. Then, let me first thank upon our technological team under DTM Farheen Seth, Toastmaster J.R. George, DTM Juniors, Toastmaster Brian. What a wonderful performance they have done and supported us in the greatest way to make sure everything is smooth. Coming next to our MOC for the evening, Toastmaster Sarah Woman, who has been great in her presentation and managed the show very well. Next, our CSR team members who supported us in each of the events, and all our CSR team members from Special Needs Community, Special Needs Committee have presented their speeches today. Our Q&A moderator, Toastmaster Dr. Sundaram, thank you for that great session. And our beloved speakers, Toastmaster Dr. Shanti Rekha Rao, Dr. Uma Shankar, right from India, Toastmaster Ambli Rose from India, and Mrs. Nazia Sheikh, Toastmaster Seema and her daughter, Toastmaster Rubab. Thank you for the great speech sessions. We're greatly honored by your presentations. Going ahead, let me just give you a small token of appreciation. Can we have the presentation certificate of appreciation, please?
Toastmaster Jijo, can I go ahead? Toastmaster Jijo? I think he has some network issues. Hello. Yeah, Toastmaster Jijo had some network issue. He's reconnecting. He's joining again. Toastmaster Saira, could you please proceed with the appreciations? I have the screen share with me. Toastmaster Saira.
Can you do it in the order? Can you just do? I'll read out the names.
Yeah, yes.
Can you just do it?
Fine.
The next one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll do it.
I think this is self-explanatory. We can go to the next one. Yeah. Dr. Uma Shankar. Toastmaster Dr. Shanti. Toastmaster Ambali Rose. Mrs. Nasia Safar Sheikh. Toastmaster Mumtaz Seema Rizvi. Toastmaster Rubab Fatima Rizvi. Toastmaster Dr. Sundar Ramalingam. Toastmaster Merlin Lenny Vaidyan. Toastmaster Minuri. Toastmaster Shijomon Jose. Toastmaster Gautam. DTM Juniors. Toastmaster Jayad. Toastmaster Ali Hassan. Toastmaster Brian Joshua. Thank you so much, Dr.
And our CSR
Sundar.
manager is here.
Yeah, thank you. Toastmaster Jijo?
Toastmaster Sarah, I'm sorry for that. There was some technical issue here. Got disconnected. Thank you for the presentation. And thank you all for the time you gave us. With this, I have missed one person whom I did not say, the timer. You managed to finish things on time, Toastmaster Shijomon and Toastmaster Gautam. Really, thank you all for that. And once again, thank you for joining us. We will come back with more CSR activities in career guidance and special needs. With this, we will end the session for today. Signing off, CSR Manager, District 79, Jijo Koshi. Bye.
Request everybody to join for the group photo. I think most of them have. Our CSR manager is here. Thank you.
Toastmaster Saira, I'm not able to start my video. It says that the host has disabled it.
बोलो अभी एक मीटिंग हो रही है
Yeah, I think you can. Now the video is on.
करोगी 5 minutes 5 minutes
Okay, thank you.
The video is still not on.
Video.
Yeah.
All the videos are on.
तुम्हारे साइज का
Not it.
हाँ Please, 2 minutes, just.
Are all the videos on now?
Yes, yes.
They have disconnected the PR manager alone. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, DTM Palni.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And can I request others to switch on their camera so that we can take the group picture?
Request all the members to please switch on your cameras.
Okay, so show some signs so that we can take more good pictures. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, DTM Palni. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
And good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Take care.
Take
See
care.
you all soon.
Bye.
Congratulations, Toastmaster Jijo. You're muted.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Now I'm relieved. I got disconnected. I don't know what
It's
happened.
time to celebrate, huh?
Yes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jayard and DTM Juniors. Thank you very much. Good job.
Yeah, I've been troubling them a lot. Thank you, Toastmaster JR. Toastmaster, all the while I've kept on calling DTM Juniors and Toastmaster JR. Really thankful for that. And DTM Farheen, thank you for all the support.
We're happy it went off well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I
We
would
have a
also
lean audience.
take this opportunity to thank Jijo for the clear and open communication. So we could execute what was required whenever you wanted it. So I'm really happy about that. And again, thank you so much for being ever so cooperative. And this time you have been very diligent in terms of admitting the people and everything. That was immense. Toastmaster Merlin did a wonderful job again.
Absolutely.
And with regard to the whole event, Jijo, hats off.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you again.
Take it out.
Well done.
Thank
Now
you.
you can rest until the next event.
Thank you, Roundtable members, for joining. Toastmaster Rizan, Toastmaster DTM Narsimha. Thank you all.
Right. Take care, everybody. Good
nice
night.
To listen.
Nice.
Wonderful. Keep it up. When next one?
Sure. After the international conference.
Good. Okay. Take care.
There are
Thank you so
still
much.
people waiting in the waiting room. Can you believe there are still people coming in?
No, it's okay.
I think
It's okay.
this was a good lesson for us. We only go by our list, and I think this was most important to ensure security.
So I
We
could
will
not.
continue doing that in future.
Any more waiting room?
No problem. Let them wait. We already gave the instructions. We messaged in the group in the waiting room as well. Follow the guidelines and join. So,
Regarding for what that code number? They have to join through the code.
They have to name themselves according
Yeah,
to
but
their registration to make
sometime I
sure
know.
that the right person.
Sometimes the link is taking direct. I don't know how. First I was clicking, it is going direct. Then I cannot rename. Then after that again I went to the another system and I made it rename and came.
Okay.
But if it is in that case, what we have to do?
I guess we have to do what you did, go back and rename. Or once, I mean,
They are,
the only other way
they are
is once you're
profiles.
inside, but we cannot take the risk of letting people in, right? So.
Yeah.
How many were waiting room?
2 or 3. They just somewhere continuously there.
2, 3,
Anyway,
no problem.
happened.
No, 2, 3 continuously there mean they are the something from them. Let them to be there.
One person was there
Yeah,
for 1 hour.
when they will accept.
Yeah, 1 hour somebody waited.
True.
They waited to accept. Okay, don't worry.
There was persistence there, and we were persistent on our end. So I think it was all good.
Now in the system, if you remove anyone, they cannot log in, right? They cannot
Yes.
join
They
here.
need to register. They need to
Until
re-register.
end this meeting, they cannot come again with that same.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. DGM, you can end the meeting now. Thank you so much.
There's a Dr. Junior. He's there. Okay.